Shalom, shalom. We have the real Hebrew Israelites come to you week in and week out, prophesying the return of the Most High and His Heavenly Son. All praises, honor, glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadosh.
Double honors to the apostles out in New York and Great Millstone and GMS. Honors to all Akim around the planet. Lifting up the name of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai in truth and in sincerity. This is Brother Uriah, and we got the Elder Malcolm, and we're just going to go jump straight into a lesson. Hiding behind critical race theory won't last much longer. You're going to have to pay for your crimes, Esau. All right. We were just talking, and then and you can use the elder. Matter of fact, you can go ahead and you can kick it off.
Yeah. Let me go to that Ecclesiastes. I think that's in Ecclesiastes. The Lord requires that which is past.
Right. That's perfect. Because right now, Esau lives and dies, pass on his money to his children, and lives and dies, and he's not suffering. He's stacking chips. They're running everything.
Well, especially Amalek.
Mm-hmm.
All right, especially Amalek, and the Edomites who benefited from Amalek's charity.
Right.
That allowed them to own some acres of land and things of that nature.
His crumbs.
All that's deteriorating too. So now they're complaining. But in times past, you've often heard them brag about how their foreparents came over here with nothing and they pulled themselves up by the bootstraps, whatever
Right.
the hell they're supposed to mean. And the fact is that they came over here and they were given millions upon millions of acres of stolen land.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were even sent to school to learn how to farm that land. So, and they've had an upper hand in creating generational wealth to pass on to their children. And even though they had all these head starts and all these stairs, these ladder steps that they can climb to get above Jake, a lot of Jake still got to them and surpassed them.
That's right.
And what did they do? They burned down and destroyed those neighborhoods and all those homesteads around the country.
That's right.
All right, and then set up programs to keep Jake down. But let me read this. This is Ecclesiastes 3:15, and it reads, "That which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been. And God requireth that which is past." So, they'll always say, well, why are you bringing up old stuff? But you know what? You may have forgotten it, or it was never told to you because you own this house and this land and know it's been in your family, but you don't know the real roots of how your family got that land.
That's right.
All right?
And if I may, the scriptures say, just because judgment isn't executed speedily amongst the wicked, their hearts are fully setting them to do evil. So since they haven't got paid back for this, all they're doing is stacking sin on top of sin on top of sin on top of sin on top of sin.
Yeah, and the other day I was sitting up watching, or attempting to watch the prequel to Yellowstone, all right, which was called 1883. 1920 something, and then there's another one called 1883. All right, but when you know the history of how the land was given, literally given unto. I'm trying to find my. There we go. The land was given unto them. This is there were a couple of land grabs that were given, and what they were doing, they were giving acres away to Europeans. Matter of fact, they even all they had to do was get over here, buy the ticket to get on the boat and the ship to get over here, and then they were given land. And in a lot of cases, they were, like I said, they were sent to school to learn how to farm this land.
Doing a lesson, I got to call you back.
And they benefited greatly from that. All right, but here it says it may be fashionable to play Indian now. All right, all these Dow's Roll Edomites that signed that petition, claiming that they were natives. All right, showing up at the powwows,
right?
Fucking up the rhythm. All right,
Absolutely.
It says, but it was also trendy 125 years ago when people paid $5 a piece for falsified documents declaring them native on the Dawes rolls. And their so-called $5 Indians paid government agents under the table in order to reap benefits that came from having Indian blood. Mainly white men, it was only white men, all right?
That's right.
Not mainly, all right? or so-called white men.
Unless they're talking about a woman too, because women did it too.
All right, they said, well, no, they didn't want to allow women to own land. So women enjoyed the benefits of it because they were married to these white men, so so-called white men. So this was Edomites. All right, yeah, because they had laws in place, and they, I don't know when they changed them, but women couldn't own land. That kept the patriarchy in order.
Right, until
right, unless they were the sole heir of a man, and he had no other sons or anything. But it says mainly white men with an appetite for land, which was them all for the most part. If they could afford to buy it, they would have. It says $5 Indians paid to register on the Dow's roll, earning fraudulent enrollment in tribes along with the benefits inherited by generations to come. So that feeds into the pseudoscience too, because they made up this blood quantum shit, which was a two-edged sword. Because on one hand, if you had any Negroes and natives, matter of fact, the word Negro was created to combine the native and the so-called black African slaves.
That's right.
That's where they got the term Negro from, and many of the natives were declared Negro so that they can remove them from the Dow's rolls, remove them from getting these same benefits that they're talking about.
And because the majority of the natives back at that time were dark-skinned. They didn't wax pale at first.
Yeah, they were copper-colored, and many Negroes so-called are copper-colored as well.
That's right.
All right, when you put a penny up to a Negro and you put a penny up to a native, you couldn't tell them apart looking at their skin.
That's right.
All right, it was other features, the nose and the hair texture, which is how you did it. But nevertheless, a lot of natives were reclassified as Negroes to keep them from reaping the benefits in their own land. All right, and let me read the next. And all this is coming from the Montana Historical Society Research Center, by the way. For anyone who wants to research this or deny it, this is information straight from them. And it says the Southern Homestead Act of 1886 was signed in June 21st, 1886. Teaching about any of the Homestead Acts, it is important to include how the land was stolen from the Native Americans. The act opened 46 million acres, and that's what started the conversation. A big plot of land of eight acres, and you see how big 8 acres are.
That's right.
We're talking about 46 million here.
That's right.
All right, and that's just a portion, because this was done also in 1883, and then it was done also in Montana in the 1920s. All right, and they gave, once again, millions. So we're talking about hundreds of millions of land that was given away to European or Caucasian people, free.
That's right.
Okay, that's why they got horses and bulls and goats and slaughterhouses and stuff like that. All right, they didn't pull themselves up by the bootstraps. That's all a lie. But it says the act opened 46 million acres of federal land in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Louisiana, and Mississippi. All right, and then also later on in Montana, because like I said, I could no longer watch when I started watching the 1883 or 1920s, 1923. I think it's 1883, 1923, and then Yellowstone. The three of them go together. The one in the middle has Harrison Ford and what's that old broad? Helen Mirren. And and they're the foreparents of Kevin Costner in the Yellowstone series, which was a big hit. All right, because I actually have it on DVD. I haven't even watched it yet. Because I ended up watching a couple episodes, like, damn, this is actually pretty good. And I came across a DVD set for free, so I bought it. All right, but the fact is that now I know the history behind it. Okay, and which I kind of knew the history already. But this Dutton family, I think their name was Dutton. They got wealthy on stolen land. Then they're fighting and shooting each other. Get off my land! It's not your land.
That's right. Stolen
it's the
land.
same thing going on, over in the Holy Land.
That's right.
You got people there that don't belong there, claiming to killing and murdering people.
Both sides.
Or murdering. I won't say killing. All right, I would say murdering.
Absolutely.
For over something that doesn't belong to them.
That's right.
All right, and like we said, the Lord required that which is past, man. All right, and then they were taking the natives and breaking them.
That's it.
Breaking up their families, They had the boarding schools for the girls and the boys. You know, where the girls were, they always were finding, they were always finding the small fetuses,
Right.
In the graves and stuff. Every time they tore one down,
Right.
same thing when they tore down one of them Catholic places.
That's right.
You know, they find all them damn fetuses from babies, man. So, you know, these people are nothing like they pretend to be.
That's right, brother.
Pious and holy. And we always tell you that some of the most heinous acts in the history of mankind
That's right.
has been done under the banner of Christianity
That's right.
and done by so-called white Christians.
Yeah, that's right. That's why that scripture, the shameful spewing, keeps coming up so much, because the Most High is revealing and making you bare. He's, pulling down the leg. He's showing out. He's exposing you. He's showing your true colors. And now the other nations see it. The Israelites, especially the righteous Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, we see it, and it's actually breaking down the strongholds that Esau has over the planet. That covering that has been cast is now starting to slip.
Yeah, then they get mad, and this very history that I'm reading, what I just read will be called critical race theory.
That's right.
Anything that or what they really did, they want to call it critical race theory and try to hide behind it and remove history from school.
That's right.
Just like the name of one of my channels is not critical race history. This is critical race historical facts.
That's right.
All right, and they don't like their history.
That's right.
And it's funny because there was a time when they bragged about it.
That's right.
They were very, we're the dominant species, we're the dominant males, we're the alpha males, and, we conquered you. We had a foot on your necks, we bent your women over. They were proud of it.
That's right. Survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Which is,
And now, now they're ashamed of it and don't want it to be told, to be shared.
That's right.
All right? Let me grab that shameful spewing.
Wow. And it's beautiful, man, because what it's doing is actually strengthening the heathens to come up and tear you down, and it's also emboldening the hopeful righteous elect to continue on, the exposing and to raising up of our people.
Yeah, you got that one Ishmaelite guy who goes on in on them. You gotta
I think
love
he's
that
Jake, bro. He's too cool. He's too smooth.
He's too smooth with his speech. He's got too much sauce.
You know the guy.
He reminds me of Malcolm X when he speaks. Because Malcolm X was very charismatic
and very eloquent. Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy, he has that saying. He got that flavor.
Now you know the guy who says, "I usually don't drink beer, but when I do, I drink Dos Equis."
Right.
He got that type of speaking voice, so he has that, and that regal. He has a regal way about him. Even the way he speaks and holds himself.
I kind of agree with you. That dude might be a Jake, but this is Habakkuk 2 in 15, and it reads, "Woe to him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth the bottle to him,
That's right.
and maketh him drunketh also, and thou mayest look upon their nakedness." So they made us drunk here in America by teaching us false history. History that I questioned as a child and would get in trouble for.
Me too.
Because some of the same points that we were talking about, it's like, man, the Lord picks people. You're born to do what you do, man.
That's right.
Because in the 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, I was having arguments with my classmates because they were getting angry because, I'm asking all these questions and they just wanted to get out for recess or go outside for lunch or whatever, and they didn't want to hear all this stuff.
See, I was pissing off the teachers doing the same thing.
And the same thing
They
because
called my mom into school just to fuss at me, and she would ask them, "Well, was he right?"
And then
that's not the point.
And my son turned around and did the same thing.
Perfect.
Make
me think about the Detroit brothers who used to do, when they first came in, the two young brothers.
They were still in high school,
and they did their book report about the Israelites. Oh man, cut them smooth. Yes, kind of slacky, man. That shows you the spirit, like we were talking yesterday when the Apostle Tahar did a lesson, the street teaching that was talking about the same thing that we ended up teaching on the line. And you said, I went in
on the same thing. I didn't know that he taught on that.
That's right.
So one body, one spirit. But it says, "For thou art filled with shame for glory.
That's right.
Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee," and we can't wait. "And the shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory." And that's what's happening because they wrote history in a way, that they made it sound smooth.
That's right.
Or they even say it was a good thing. Well, we civilized you, and
That's right.
and you were heathen and you were cannibals, and they said it about Gad, and they said it about the so-called Negro, which they love to refer to as black Africans.
That's right.
All right. When that lie, that's a lie that you're gonna have to stop telling too.
That's right.
Because you got many so-called black Africans that are telling you the people we sold were not our people, they were the Israelites.
That's right.
All right, they weren't the same people. They were at war with these people. All right, and you know, and Esau came along, and then, you know, he made everything about color. When that in the ancient world, it wasn't about color. It was about who your father, what side, what tribe, what seed line,
The stock.
what stock, who did you come from? Not the color of your skin, because they understood that men, conquerors, kings, nobles, all right, would often put their seed in the conquered women, and the conquered women weren't of them. But they also understood that that when a woman has a child, that child is of his father's nation, not of its mother's. They knew this in the ancient world. They didn't bring that confusion about that until now. All right, to fit their lives, all this half this and half that, and
quarter this, third that.
Right, and with them blood quadrant shit, which is all a lie and pseudoscience. Because on one hand, you put in 1883, you can look that receipt up in Virginia. There was an act that was done, and in that act, it labeled it created this new class of people called Negroes, which was the combining of the Native American and the African slave.
Right.
All right, and they call them Negroes. That's where they get that term from. All right, but on the other hand, you'll say if you have Negro blood, then you're no longer white.
Right.
But yet you'll say you got Negro blood to make yourself a native.
Right.
But then on the other, but then you still claiming to be white because you look white.
That's right.
You still getting the bit. You see what I mean? It's all double dipping, and changing. You know, making the changes to fit themselves, man, to benefit themselves. What Esau does is they're constantly moving the goalposts.
That's right.
All right, and that's in everything, in politics, in court, the shit that I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every time I expose them for their wrong and prove through law that I was correct, they move the goalposts again.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
play hot potato.
And then the hot potato game. Well, we don't have jurisdiction. They
So
have
we gonna give it to
jurisdiction.
them. Now go talk to them. Well, you go talk to them. Well, you know what? I'm gonna continue this. They're playing games.
And that's
man.
pretty much what they did. All right, but yeah, so you pretty much get the gist of it. You know, we just wanted to do this quickie. You know, this quick lesson before pause. This quick lesson before we got to our destination, and we're here now. So with that, we'll give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai,
Bahasham, Brakak, Kodash,
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasra. I'll let you out here so we can.